Do you find it interesting that there's like 12 bailiffs in this courtroom?
I'm not an actress, okay?
Did you just give the fist sign on that?
Yes.
Okay, somebody's excited. Hi, Matt Clark, partner with Cohn Clark, personal injury law firm in Bakersfield. We're here today to react to the Amber Heard-Johnny Depp trial. The verdict just came out. I'm going to bring in a special guest for this one, Tanya Alsheikh, one of our other lawyers here at Cohn Clark, and we're going to react to the verdict.
What we have is a mountain of unproven allegations that are wild, over the top, and implausible. What Ms. Heard testified to in this courtroom is the story of far too many women. But the overwhelming evidence, weight of that evidence, shows that it is not her story.
Pause it right
was
there.
An act of
I think that's a
profound
really
cruelty.
good point made by Johnny Depp's lawyer in closing argument. I mean, one of the things that Johnny Depp's lawyer is doing here in closing, and I think she's doing a really effective job, is she's reminding the jury that yes, there are instances of domestic violence. This stuff happens all the time, and it should not happen. But that is not the facts of this case. That's something that we as lawyers do all the time when we're in front of a jury. We want to make sure the jury is only taking into consideration the facts of our case, the facts that are presented in the courtroom.
No, I absolutely agree. Actually, anytime I talk about the times that Amber Heard testified, she's just impossible to believe. It seems like she's over the top, over dramatic, trying to just make the jury believe her and putting in so much effort into it that it just seems like it's a completely fake story.
Correct. And you've got to remind the jury that it's that set of facts upon which they must base their decision, not the whole universe of information that's out there and things that may have happened to other women, especially since the Me Too movement. And his attorneys comment on that as well. I think it's a really smart and effective closing argument.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard.
This is the most
1.
somber she
As
looked
to the
the entire
statement
trial.
appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Okay, stop it right there.
Has
So
Mr.
let's talk about that for a second. So there's a couple interesting things that I don't think a lot of people understand. Number one, this case was tried in the state of Virginia, right?
Correct.
Okay, a lot of people are going, wait a second, why in the heck, it's a Washington Post piece, why was this case tried in the state of Virginia? Can you explain that for people?
I can. So the reason it was tried in Virginia is because that's where the servers for the Washington Post are located.
The actual servers that held her op-ed piece were in the state of Virginia. That gave them jurisdiction in Virginia.
And the way that it was transmitted throughout the country and the world is through those servers.
One of the things you'll hear lawyers talk about a lot is venue shopping, right? We want to get our case in a venue that is most helpful for our client. In a moment, when we get to what the actual dollar amounts are in this case, I can comment on why maybe Virginia was not the best venue for Johnny Depp in this case.
Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
All of those questions, right? If you've never served on a jury, you have to understand that the jury is given a jury verdict form, which will have a variety of questions on it. Depending on the kind of case, those questions may be different. In this case, Johnny Depp's claim was that Amber Heard defamed him by publishing this op-ed piece. And so this is now the jury's findings on all of the elements that you have to prove in order to have a defamation claim.
And I think one of the most important points that should be made is the fact that this means when the jury said yes to each one of those points, they found that the statements that she made were false. So it's not just that she was bad-mouthing him, it's that she was bad-mouthing him using false statements.
Untruthfulness.
Yes.
And because of the kind of case this is, they had to prove it to clear and convincing evidence, right? Not just more likely true than not. So if you talk about the various burdens that you may have in a legal case, you know, at the very top, we have beyond a reasonable doubt, which we hear about all the time on TV. That's the burden in a criminal case. So below that, you've got clear and convincing evidence, and then much lower than that, you've got what we call more likely true than not. So this was not necessarily an easy case for Johnny Depp's legal team. To prove it by clear and convincing evidence is quite a victory.
It is.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 2, as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Do you find it interesting that there's like 12 bailiffs in this courtroom?
Well, I mean, with all the press that's in there.
What's the press going to do?
You don't know, they might go out, they might get out of control.
I don't know. It seems to me, I mean, if I'm a taxpayer in the state of Virginia, I'm probably a bit frustrated by the fact that there's like a dozen bailiffs being paid their regular wages to work the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Do you think there was like a drawing where they got to pick numbers?
Who would get to go?
Who'd get to do this trial?
You know what? The fact that you're actually paying attention to the bailiffs as opposed to people's reactions shows the difference between the two of us.
Well, I mean, these are all plants as best I can tell, so the reaction's kind of irrelevant to me. I'm interested in Amber Heard's reaction, which, let me say, thus far through this reading of the jury's verdict, she's been a good actress. She's not really showing much emotion at all.
Oh, see, I don't know. I feel like this is the most somber she's looked throughout the entire trial. Tell us what you think about Amber Heard's reaction to the verdict in the comments.
Yeah, but less like you're reading it.
Oh. I'm not an actress, okay? I'm not an actress.
You wouldn't have made it to the Pineapple Express.
I don't know, man. If she made it in, I could do it. I think anybody could.
I don't know.
Did you not see her talk about her dog getting stung by a bee?
That's so far my favorite meme to have developed from this whole thing.
The ugly
I'm
face.
loving it.
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
All right, hold on. Let's stop right there
As
for a second.
against Amber Heard.
So the jury just awarded Johnny Depp $10 million in compensatory damages. What does that mean?
That means that the jury has found that Johnny Depp has proved that the losses that he suffered as a result of Amber Heard's statements that defamed him, meaning the false statements that ruined his career in one way or another, is equal to $10 million. They listened to the evidence that was presented, whether it be the deposition testimony, the in-court testimony, or the contracts. They listened to that evidence, looked it over, and determined that the loss he suffered that compensates him is equal to $10 million.
There's $10 million in compensatory damages. But then there's the next issue, which is punitive damages. Let's see, what does the jury do for that?
We, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Okay, now that's a big deal. Did you just give the fist sign on that?
Like, yes.
Okay, somebody's excited. $5 million in punitive damages. Here's what that means. Those are damages not to compensate Mr. Depp. Those are damages that have been awarded to punish Amber Heard. But, and we talked about this, lawyers will engage in this practice we call venue shopping, where they try to get their case into a venue, meaning tried in a particular state or jurisdiction that is most beneficial to their client. And this is probably where Johnny Depp's legal team didn't pick the perfect venue. Now, I don't know if they had other venues available to them, but Virginia certainly wasn't. Why?
Because Virginia law has a cap allocated to punitive damages. Regardless of however much the jury finds should be awarded, and punitive damages, meaning damages meant to punish whoever the verdict is against, is capped at $350,000.
Okay, so the effect of that is the $5 million that the
Drops
jury
down.
awards to Johnny Depp in punitive damages drops to $350,000.
Exactly. So it's $15 million award now just turned into $10 million.
What if the jury given him $50 million in
Doesn't
punitive
matter.
damages?
Does not
$1
matter.
billion.
Does not matter. It drops down to $350,000.
So in Virginia, the state usurps the power of the jury when it comes to punitive damages. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing that should be noted here is that the jury has no idea that this cap exists.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million.
Right there.
Wait,
As
So
against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
okay, that's important. So the jury in Amber Heard's countersuit has awarded her $2 million in compensatory damages, $0 in punitive damages. That would mean, by the way, that unlike their finding against Amber Heard, where they found that her defamatory statements were made with malicious intent, right? They obviously didn't find that when it came to Johnny Depp's statements, right?
No, so she only was successful in one of the 3 counts that were alleged against Johnny Depp. And when they got down to that very last question about whether or not Johnny Depp acted with malice, they said no, which is why you see here that he had a $0 punitive damages award.
So the net effect of all of this, right? Johnny Depp gets $10 million in compensatory damages, $5 million in punitive damages, reduced to $350,000 by a Virginia statute, and then also reduced by the $2 million that was awarded to Amber Heard in compensatory damages. So the net verdict in all this thing is $8,350,000 to Johnny Depp.
So he basically gets his divorce settlement back.
Well, let's talk about that. My question is, does she still have the $7 million that she got from him in the divorce?
From her testimony, what I understood was that she wasn't able to make her donation because of the lawsuit against her.
Well, first of all, there's nothing in this lawsuit that would prevent her from donating $7 million to a children's hospital.
Her belief is that she needed that money for her legal fees.
Well, that may be true based on what I've seen of the lawyer's performance. And mind you, in defense of Amber Heard's lawyers, I'm not sure that they were working with an optimal set of facts here. And as a lawyer, I can tell you, you don't get to pick your facts. The facts are what they are. But that being said, I'm not sure her legal team, we pointed some things out in a prior video, did a stellar job here.
They were rather flustered throughout the entire trial.
But let me tell you what I do, right? So if I'm Johnny Depp's legal team right now, you've got sworn testimony from her that she never gave that $7 million to a charity, right? Despite the fact that she claims she did.
She pledged it.
Yeah, well, pledging it and actually paying it are 2 different things. But despite that, let's just assume for the moment she still has the $7 million. The law now allows them to go in and basically levy her accounts for that $7 million. So the real irony in all of this is Johnny Depp and her are married for a period of time. They get divorced. They enter into a marital separation agreement by which Johnny Depp pays her $7 million. And he's probably going to get it back.
Plus more.
Plus another $1,350,000. Here's the other part that I think is really important. These claims, in this case, defamation and especially the punitive damages claims, are based on what we call an intentional tort, right? This is not negligence. It's not an accident, right? It's not the failure of somebody to act reasonable. These are intentional acts. The jury made a finding that these were intentional acts
On Amber Heard's part.
on Amber Heard's part, and that means she doesn't get to take advantage of the bankruptcy laws in the United States.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and leave us a comment.
And subscribe to the Cohn Clark YouTube channel for more content just like this.